Laugh out loud, it's the place to be, where geeky minds meet so naturally. From pixel legends to blockbuster heart, dive right in, let's set this vibe apart.
Oh my gosh, there have been some changes. And
I should have changed the background too. I didn't even think about that.
I gotta congratulate you, Ben. I don't know what you're the king of right now, but
I am the
pretty
king.
sweet.
I'm the king of the VMs.
The king of the dude. You know what? Is that like a toilet that you're sitting on with a whole like toilet throne going on?
Yes. Yep. And that robe there, it's got a cut in the front and in the back, but the back
Made of
one,
toilet paper, right?
yeah.
Of course. You got the Napper Crapper 9000, the Kingdom version, dude. Yeah. So I you know what? I told you I gotta talk about my picture. I love PBH, but I gotta explain what you're looking at, because when you changed it up, I'm like, dude, this is what I gotta do. So I know you have no idea who this character is.
Nope. It looks like it's from some of either a video game or an anime, or if it's American, it would be like one of those old MTV liquid television deals.
Yeah. Okay. So it's from anime.
Okay.
It's from an anime called Azumanga Daioh.
Here you won't. You do that stuff on your own time. What?
Exactly. So, all right. So this character. So what this basically what the show is. It's a slice of life show about like high school girls just doing stupid stuff, just doing the standard high school girl stupid stuff. This character steals every single scene she's in. Okay. So it takes place in Tokyo, in a school in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm. This
character is a transfer student from Osaka. She introduces her name, and they decide that they're just going to call her Osaka. So that's her nickname. So basically, she was Osaka. She is the most airhead, dumb character in like the best way possible. And one of the good scenes that like in the very beginning, and I'm gonna get to this scene or around this scene. One of the best things at the beginning is she's trying, I think she was taking a test and she couldn't focus. And she's sitting there just going, get it together, get it together, get it together, get it together. And the teacher comes over and she's in such a space doing this. Teacher's like, hey, Osaka, you really got to get it together. And I mean, that's how dumb this character is in just like her own weird, crazy way. So basically around this here, if I remember the scene, it starts with they go to one of the characters in it. She's like this really smart girl that passed a few grades to get to high school, so she's still like really young and everything. And she's rich. And she has her own summer home. So they go to the summer home. And at one point they decide they're going to tell ghost stories. So Osaka steps up with her ghost story. And she's like, talking about, and so next was killed. And then this person got killed. And then this person got killed. And it ends with, until you find out, I am the murderer. And that was her story. And they're like, that was really dumb. So eventually, in the middle of the night, I think she like wakes up and she's like sleepwalking. And she grabs a knife and she walks into somebody's room. And this is a scene and they're like totally freaked out. And she's like in such a space, you don't even know what's going on. So yeah, I love this character. She is freaking awesome. So yeah, so we're doing a change. We're getting something new going on. And we also have something else new going on. And that's the fact that we have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we were supposed to do movies, but like I forgot, so I didn't watch the movies, so we're not doing movies.
And then somebody wanted to change up the topics. And that the other person said basically that, well, basically I wasn't ready for the change of the topics. Well, no, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? Yeah, well, that was one of them. Next came another. You know what? I'm so confused at this point. I got to get it together.
Yeah, so yeah, we're flying without a net tonight, just kind of winging it. We took last week off, Easter holiday. It just I it's like completely out of it because like I spent the whole day like out with family and stuff. So that happened there, and now we're back together and we're doing this again. And
You know what?
so
I think let's do some of our topic from last week that we didn't do because it's going to be the easy, quick one.
okay,
We could do some of that. And you do we have anything else before that? You said you want to talk about something with like YouTube and
yes, okay. So a couple months ago, we did a couple. We did a series of episodes where we talked about our favorite YouTube channels, and I think during that time I mentioned the gaming historian, Norm Caruso, and during the last 2 weeks, he released a couple videos, maybe over the last month, a couple videos. One of them was talking about how he's slowing stuff down and he's changing priorities, and then, this past week, he released a video that we were kind of expecting after seeing the first one, just announcing that he is altogether just giving up doing any new episodes of The Gaming Historian. He's leaving the channel up. There's a lot of great episodes on there if you've never seen them. The production quality is to the level where if he were to ever release these on Blu-ray, I would recommend buying them because they're just like a good piece of gaming history. He puts a lot of research into it. Like the one he did on the Oregon Trail, like he like put months and months, like he like flew out and interviewed these people to include in it, you know. So you can see the amount of work he puts into it, and he's got a family now, and he's got an actual real job that he has to, you know, because YouTube's not giving him enough, I guess, financially to make things work, which is understandable. So yeah, so he's hanging it up. I always believe in never say never. I got a feeling he's gonna be like Scott the Waz is like the new like game like the new video game like central character that everybody kind of goes around. But he's like a really nice kid. He's from Ohio, and everybody seems to like him. He just did a video, crossover video with the Angry Video Game Nerd that kind of felt like a passing of the torch kind of episode because the nerd went out of his way to make himself look older. Like just not like actually coloring his hair or anything. He just like took how he normally looks and just kind of emphasized the fact that he's balding and all this other stuff. And Scott, on the other hand, emphasized his youth and how young he is. And in the video, it's kind of being played that Scott was the intern for the Angry Video Game Nerd, which is kind of like a lot of people kind of see it that way. That he is the heir apparent for the title of like this is now the guy when it comes to retro video game reviews, who's going to make you laugh. And Mike, you might actually like Scott the Waz more than you like the Angry Nerd. I don't know if you ever seen any of the Waz's episodes. But
I think I've seen one or two.
yeah, well, every year he does a Christmas episode that he actually puts a lot of production value into. And it also comes out in the middle of January. It's part of the fun of it. He does because
Yeah.
he doesn't release it when it's not ready. He waits until it's ready, and sometimes it goes into a little bit into the next month before it comes out. But
Gotcha.
when he does do it, he usually has guest spots. And I would not be surprised if this kid somehow gets Norm Caruso, maybe in a year or two, to come on and just lend his voice to something. Because he does have a very distinct voice, and it would be like a lot of people would perk up and say, "Oh, the gaming historian, he's doing a cameo." I would not be surprised to see him do a cameo on something that on a Scott the Wise production. Because yeah, I don't know if they're all in the same like if they all run together, but I know that like he is the current like golden child, I guess if you for a term. I don't know what kind of term you want to use. He's the new guy. The new it guy when it comes to retro gaming reviews. He's the one who didn't grow up with it, only heard about it from the guys who did grow up with it. So that's why he's the perfect heir apparent because like he grew up watching the Angry Nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So now he
Torch
is
is being passed.
with that.
Torch is being passed.
The torch has been passed. I think so. I think yeah, when the Angry Video Game, it's the torch has been passed a long time ago. It's just not official.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that was what I wanted to talk about with Norm Crusoe, more or less retiring. So that was as a fan of his YouTube channel, kind of sad, but it is what it is. And someone else will come around. There's a bunch of channels that already do the same kind of content. They just don't do it the same way. But somebody will come around and they'll become the next gaming historian person. You know,
Mhm.
like I watch Tech Mom, and right now Matt's his name. He's doing good, but he is it himself. He's an older gentleman. He's like, and eventually he's going to want to retire too, and there'll be somebody else who will pick up the mantle of being the guy who finds those weird tech devices that you never heard of, tells you the history of it, and then reviews the thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll always be somebody that'll come along.
Yep. So
It just
it's weird that YouTube has been around this long that we're seeing passing of the torches of stuff. Like
yeah.
it's like the Tonight Show.
I mean, YouTube outlasted what? YouTube outlasted, MySpace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Well, I mean,
I guess MySpace is still around, but
it's not what
it
it used to be. MySpace is now, I mean, it's supposed to be for promoting music. I don't remember any music act ever telling me to go check out their MySpace page, but
yeah.
hey, it is. I think it's one of the things they're just trying to make it work. I don't want
Mhm.
to get political, but uh, some of our listeners might actually agree with this. Why is Melania Trump still trying to make Melania Trump a thing? She came out this past week and did this whole speech about how she had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm watching and seeing like, who are you again? Why are you
Well
on my TV?
well, she had a movie just recently.
That nobody watched, but okay.
I'm curious, actually. Let's find out because I heard it was actually doing well. So let's find out how it did. I think
Well,
it's just
nobody.
named
I'll
Melania,
put it
right?
this way: nobody I know, as far as I know, nobody I know watched it. And if I do
I mean,
know,
that's the same with me. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know anybody that went to watch it.
I mean,
Um,
granted,
they gave it okay. So
yep,
Rotten Tomatoes, the reviewers gave it a whopping 10%. The
yep.
audience gave it a 98%. So, that shows you probably the bias on both sides because the people that are going to go see it are going to be the ones that support Melania. The people that are going to review it are the ones that aren't going to support Melania.
Okay, so
So,
I look at the first lady position as being worth less than a bucket of warm spit because that's what the vice president role is worth, is a bucket of warm spit, according to I forget who said that, but there's a saying that says that the vice president's job is as valuable as a bucket of warm spit. So that means they get the first lady is less than that. Like I don't care. I didn't care about you and Epstein, but now since you're over here denying it, maybe I do care about it. Is the way that some people are going to look. I don't care either way. I could give two shits about Melania Trump. Uh, she's probably a
and
nice woman. She's probably a sweetheart. I'm nothing against her personally. I don't know anything about her, and I don't care to know anything about her because I don't. It's the first lady. She has no power at
yeah.
all, other than she sleeps with the president. That's it.
Okay, so all right, so here we go. Budget of the movie is $40 million.
Hmm.
Box office 16.7 million.
They lost money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you nobody wanted to go see this. They were reporting these high numbers and they were saying that the theaters were empty and there were people going in with their cell phone showing it. And I know someone like, oh, it's all slanted and it's all fake news. And it's like, dude, I'm going by my gut. And my gut is telling me not a single soul gives a flying fuck about this movie.
I wonder if it's like it's selective as to the area also. Like, of course, in my state, I'm not gonna know anyone who's gonna go see Melania.
But like, I'm in Connecticut where I know a lot of conservative people and people who were fans of it. I talked to people who even defended the movie but didn't go see it. But
Yeah.
they defended the fact that the movie was out.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, I heard it did really well. Did you see it?" Well, no, but
Mhm. Yeah.
you know a movie is good when you know somebody who's seen it.
That's not
Okay.
always true. I
Well, I'm talking about like, well, okay, maybe with different friend circles, it might not be true, but with the amount of people I know with different political views and just
Mhm.
outlooks on life and stuff,
Mhm.
I I mean, I probably know one person who might have seen this movie, but they're not going around telling everybody.
It might be, it might be a situation where it's the one person that's seen the movie, but they don't want to admit they've seen the movie.
Exactly. I heard there was a whole big scene where she's looking for what shoes she's gonna wear to the inauguration, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, they made a movie about a woman looking at her shoes and trying to figure out what shoes to wear."
They
That
make
just
a lot of movies about women looking at their shoes to try to figure out which ones they want to wear. It's just most are fictional.
Yeah, most of them are in a documentary about the first lady trying to make it's what it gotta be, it's like, Trump must have told her, "Hey, during the 2nd term, why don't you make yourself into a celebrity?" And she's been trying and trying and trying, and nobody cares. People who like her already are talking about, "She's so gorgeous. She's so beautiful." Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't really find her too attractive. And like I said, like, it's nothing against her as a person. I don't know her as a person, but from what I can see from the public persona that's out there, I don't care. It's not a hate or like, it's a don't give a shit.
Well, here's my question with this situation. So looking at these numbers, 40 million to make, 16.7 million at the box office. Did Trump pull her aside and look at her and say, "You're fired"? I
He
mean,
won't. You won't. He'll push people to make this movie happen, and then he'll yell at them for not promoting it correctly, even though I heard about it everywhere.
Mhm.
Everywhere. This whole thing was promoted up and
Yeah.
down, which also tells me something. The more you promote something, usually the worse it is.
Mhm.
Because you wouldn't have to promote it otherwise. People would just be like, dude, this movie's awesome. You gotta go see it. And that would be your promotion.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'm like, why even when they announced they're doing this movie in the first place, I'm like, "Who the hell wants to see a documentary about the first lady?" I wouldn't Michelle Obama was insanely popular, and nobody wanted to see a documentary about her either.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, there you
nobody
go.
cares, really. They're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, look at what she's wearing." I don't care what she's wearing. Look how she dressed up the White House. I'm never gonna be invited there. What do I care how the White House looks for Christmas?
Mhm.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care about
Mhm.
any of this stuff. And I'm a guy, I get it. Women, they look at it differently, and there's stuff I'm into that women go and say, like, "Well, why do you care what kind of computer he's using?" Or whatever, it's like, it's
Yeah.
but yeah. So to me though, like hearing these people talk about it, I'm like, okay, you guys all talk about a great game about this, but show me somebody who's actually seen the movie.
Yeah, for me, it's the why do you care is for me is they're holding a PlayStation controller, but the song is Contra. And
Yeah, it's like when you watch an old TV show and they got like an Atari joystick and it's playing Nintendo sounds, or they have a
yeah,
Nintendo controller and they're playing Atari sounds, or
yep.
Genesis controller and it's usually Nintendo. It's like once in a blue moon, you can tell when they care about that stuff because you'll watch a TV show and they'll get it.
And it's like, how can you have such a non-concern for lack of detail, which actually next week, if we're doing the movies, I will be happily talking about with one of those movies.
Yeah, yeah, and we could probably talk about the new ones that are coming out too, because the new Street Fighter, they're supposed to be like insanely big on detail.
And that's it's a double-edged sword. It really is. Um, because just gonna say it. It looks stupid. Like super stupid.
It does look stupid. I was watching one preview of it, and they showed Cody Rhodes with that hair trying to
Mhm.
be Guile and all these other people, and most of them, well, not all, most of them, there's a good chunk of them are WWE people
Yeah.
because and all of them are nerds.
Mhm.
Every one of them is like, I can't believe I get to go and play as blah blah blah. He's my favorite character ever. This is a dream come true. And it's like, okay, it's your favorite character because you're playing them. It was your like Ken was your favorite character up until they told you you got placed in the role of
Yeah.
uh of whoever. Who's the one from South America?
Blanca?
Blanca. Yeah, now Blanca is your favorite character because you got the role of Blanca.
Yeah.
2 minutes ago, you're like, oh God, he's like green and disgusting. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay me what?
Exactly.
Make me green and disgusting, please.
I guess Jason Momoa wanted to be.
Maybe he wanted. I don't know. I know people who played as Blanca. Blanca, if you can get it, like his spin attack and the electricity thing, if you can go and master those were great defensive. I mean, well, one of the offensive, but the other one was a great.
I would love to play you then as Blanca. Or yeah, you could be Blanca. All
Want to be
you want.
Blanca. I never played as Blanca. I was saying I could see why people enjoyed using him though.
There was a kid way back in the day. My buddy and I, we would go to this quick stop, and they had Street Fighter in there, and we Street Fighter 2, I'm sorry. And you know what's sad is that I'm such a fan, but I just don't care. Street Fighter. They had, because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This kid would come in and he's like, yeah, I'm awesome at this game. Yeah. And then he goes, I use Blanca because you can't block his electricity. So I fought him, and it wasn't my choice to fight him. I was already playing. He put the quarter in and he chose Blanca. I was Dulcing.
Oh,
And
jeez.
you never want to be Blanca when you're facing Dulcing for one major reason, because you're going to go stupid. Blanca's spin attack, when he comes out of the attack, if Dawson blocks it, Dawson can hit the roundhouse kick and connect with Blanca in the air. So Blanca will take a chip off him. Dawson will take about 20% of his health off.
Mm.
And he did this over and over again until he realized he was almost dead. And the best part was, I got right up to him, threw down a crouching block right as he threw out electricity and blocked it. So yeah, that was a fun time. I mean, I feel bad because he was like, yeah, I was probably 16 and he was probably 11. But if you're going to talk and you're going to eat it afterwards, I don't have a concern about that.
Yeah. No, it's people come in and they'll talk like shit because they did well at home, setting it on easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got this for Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. And you
I
can't
have
block electricity.
I received this week. I'm buying consoles again. I'm like I think I'm falling out of the DVDs, which is good because it's been costing me a fortune. Um, so I'm into something else that's costing me a fortune now.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I got a Model 1 Genesis I told you about with a non-TMSS, and I got that with a Mega Drive with a Mega Everdrive Pro that does Sega CD games, which is very cool. I got to play with it because Sonic CD doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But also I haven't had a chance to play with it yet because I don't have a cartridge for it. I have an EV Famicom. Do you know what an EV Famicom is?
Already busted Famicom?
No. An AV audio video. AV
AV.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know what Famicom is.
Yeah. So the Famicom is, of course, for people who don't know, is the Japanese version of the Nintendo. It came out 2 years before the Nintendo Entertainment System came out. It looks completely different in Japan, but in the US, they released a second model of the Nintendo that was the top loader. It's usually called. This is the Japanese version of the top loader. It looks exactly the same as the American top loader, except it takes Famicom cartridges and it's a Famicom motherboard.
Will it take discs as well too, or do you need a separate drive for that?
You mean for like the Famicom? No, it does not have a Famicom disk system built into it. You're thinking of the twin Famicom.
Okay, but can you get something that would hook up?
Oh yeah. You can hook up the disk system if you want to.
Gotcha.
I have on order from Ukraine an EverDrive N8 that I've already requested the cancellation of because I'm just going to order it from Amazon, but I'm waiting for the cancellation to go through because I don't want to be stuck with two of them.
Yeah.
Because it's taking forever. I ordered it like a week ago and it hasn't even moved yet. And they're in the middle of a war zone, so that might be part of it. So I'm like, you know what? I'll pay the extra $30. I'll get it from Amazon where it'll be here in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to tie like I got the money tied up with the other people, and I don't want to like I have the money. I could order it now, but I don't want to. It's that I'm not in a
Yeah,
hurry. You know.
yeah, I understand.
Could I also have another thing coming?
Hmm.
I have a
You've
super.
got another thing coming, young man.
I do. I have a Super Nintendo Mini, not a Junior, the Super Nintendo Junior coming.
Uh-huh.
So that if people don't know, they redesigned the Super Nintendo to a smaller version, and that's what I'm getting in. Now I'm using RGB for everything. Now, if you know anything about this, you know that the original Nintendo does not have RGB, and including the Famicom and AV Famicom does not come stock with RGB. Neither does the Super Nintendo Junior come stock with RGB. Both of these systems were modified to have RGB, and they also have both been recapped, which is something I need to get done on the Genesis. The Genesis has to be recapped. I think. I haven't been in there. I think it needs to be recapped. If it hasn't, if it's never been recapped, it needs to be recapped. New capacitors put in, replacing the old capacitors. They call it recapping the system, and that has to
Or-
be done because the older capacitors leak. Newer capacitors do not.
So are this like Super Nintendo Junior? It's just essentially just a Raspberry Pi with a Super Nintendo casing?
No, no, this is a legit thing that Nintendo sold towards the end of the Super Nintendo's life cycle.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, like how they redesigned they had the top loader Nintendo as a redesigned Nintendo. This is just a redesigned Super Nintendo using less parts. And and one of the things they took out was the RGB, but people nowadays they have all these mods
Mm,
fixing all these issues. Like one of
yeah.
the things I can get for the Genesis is called a triple bypass, which sounds like a
That-
medical term.
yeah. That sounds bad. You don't want that.
The triple bypass, I believe, was created with Lord Voltar along with some other people. And what that is there used to be three different bypass boards that you can get to fix the problems, mostly with the Sega Genesis 3, but it's
Mhm,
also the Sega Genesis Model 2 and the Model 1. Depending what model you have a different issue. The Model 1s have the best sound,
mhm,
but because this is all stuff I've learned. Because the carrier line for the color for the composite video runs right by the RGB signal. If you're using RGB, you get interference in the form of what they call jail bars, which if you have a solid blue background, you can see these bars going up and down the screen. The TurboGrafx 16/PC engine has the same issue.
uh-huh.
I don't know if it's caused by the same thing, but they have the same issue. So what the triple bypass would do for me on the Genesis One is to fix that problem. But there's also multiple ways to cook a fish with this, or to cut a fish, or what's the saying?
Yeah.
There's multiple ways to do this. Is my point.
There's
Uh,
multiple ways to skin a cat. That's the
that's
saying.
multiple ways to skin a cat. The multiple ways.
Cook a fish.
I don't know. It's just the first thing that went in my mind is cooking a fish. But
Wow.
there are multiple ways to cook a fish. You can fry it, you can boil it.
And this fish that you're cooking is sponsored by Rallies.
They boil their fish all the time. Oh, I said boil a fish. I'm like, that's
Mm,
too funny. All right, where was I? Okay, there's multiple ways that you could bypass this. I watched a video last night where the guy tried to do it without using a triple bypass, which
mhm,
shouldn't be the way you would try to do it. If all you're trying to do is get rid of the jail bars, you really shouldn't have to use a triple bypass board. You could just cut the leads and run the cable a different way, or just cut it all together.
uh-huh.
Um, but also the triple bypass on the Genesis Model 2 has some versions of the Model 2 have really bad sound.
Mhm,
So one of the things in the triple bypass is a new audio driver, which is why you really don't want to use it on the Model 1 because the Model 1 has amazing sound to begin with. So you don't really want to take that out to replace it with something else when all you're
mhm,
trying to do is get rid of the damn jail bars. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, well, maybe if I replace the capacitors, that'll make the jail bars less. I
mhm,
don't know. The
mhm.
capacitors need to be done anyways.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I'm gonna have a collection here of systems, all with EverDrives eventually, and have. I also want to do a TurboGrafx with a Terra Onion, um, with the Terra Onion Super SD3, which is Super SD3 Pro, which is the one that okay, so this one, I'm sorry, I'm like I got all this information that I've been like like pulling in about all this stuff. Um, it's a $300 device from Terra Onion, which is out of Italy, I want to say, or Spain.
Yeah.
I think they're out of Spain. And what this device does is it mimics a turbo CD, and that was called the Super SD3. But now the Super SD3 Pro can
Mhm.
also mimic a Super Graphics. So if you hook it up to a PC Engine, you could upgrade your PC Engine to a Super Graphics machine that could also to a super can play images of CD games, and it has a built-in up converter that does 720p through HDMI.
Hmm. Gotcha.
So it's like it can do all these things, and it's like $300. Like, oh, that's a lot of money. But if you go and own a PC Engine and you try to price all that stuff out individually,
Mhm.
like, if Super Graphics is $300 on its own
Yeah.
to play the 5 games that are out for it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, the problem you're gonna run into, and I hate to be the person to say this, but I think it's true. You're getting all this stuff for PC Engine and everything, so you're gonna be able to play the TurboGrafx at HU cards, I think they're called,
Yeah,
and you're
Hue
gonna be
cards.
able to play. What's that?
Hue cards, but I won't
Hue
be
cards.
doing Hue cards because
Yeah,
that other
HU
thing
Hue
could
card.
also also work as an EverDrive, so it does
Yeah.
have has all the stuff built in on
And
there.
you have the ability to play all of these CD games, but how many of them are you really gonna play? Because the TurboGrafx library I thought was just it's one of the weakest systems.
Not the PC Engine though. The PC Engine was number they were the number 2 system in Japan behind Super
Oh,
Nintendo.
I know that, but I still say that it didn't have well, at least for me, it didn't have a library that I cared about.
Well, my idea would be to going in there to explore
Yeah.
and see exactly what is in the library and like just try out some of these games that I've never tried or something like that, 'cause it's like I've never had a TurboGrafx. The closest I ever had to one is we had a thing called the Bargain News. I don't know if you ever had that,
The
but
bargain
before
rumors.
the Bargain News, before
News.
Craigslist, we had a thing
Mhm.
called the Bargain News. The Bargain News was a newspaper that was just classified as, and it was just people looking to buy or sell things. They weren't looking to hire people. They weren't looking for hookups. They weren't looking to do a tag sale. This was literally, I got something to sell or I'm looking to buy. And
Does that
somebody had
count for girlfriends?
no, this is just for product.
Okay, because I was gonna say if that's the case, it would actually be hookups.
Yeah, no, this is just for product. You're looking to buy something or sell something. And somebody had a Turbo Graphics and I called them and I made arrangements to go pick up the thing and we got lost on the way there. And I never got around to, and this is before cell phones. This is before this is before all of that stuff. So like I would have had to like stop at somebody's house and ask to use their phone of all these people to find out where we're going.
There were
So
payphones.
not where they were. They were out like out in like they weren't in the city. There was no
No, okay.
payphones around. Yeah. So yeah, it's I never ended up getting it, and I ended up having a PC Engine like 10 years ago, and somebody had modded it to do RGB, and it was a very questionable mod. I remember it was the only time I ever interacted with Lord Voltar, because in the listing on eBay, they said that Lord Voltar himself did the soldering work.
Huh.
I took the pictures that they showed of his quote unquote work and sent it to him saying, I got nothing in complaining against you. This guy claims that you did this. Is this your work? And he looked at it and he said, well, number one, I don't remember every single project that I worked on, but I could tell you this was not me.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, great. So now I got some, I got something that some guy threw together and claims that one of the like top YouTubers who does soldering work, Voltar, which if you look him up, the guy's like got like a ton of followers and he does really good videos. And yeah, so yeah, Lord Voltar did not do the work and he's got a bit of an ego So I kind of had to deal with that too, because he was like, this message he sent me was kind of like just dripping in like, how can you even think that I would do something so hideous at work? I would never do something.
Well, I have a question. Isn't Voltar the name of the fortune-telling game that you see in the movie Big?
I think so.
Okay.
In fact, it's Lord Voltar is the name of the coin op machine.
Well, I don't think it has Lord in it. I think it's just Voltar.
Oh, was it? Well,
I'm
anyways,
gonna look
yeah,
that up really quick.
that's what he's named. That's what he's named after. So he does really good work. It's relaxing
Okay,
to
so
watch.
Voltar, uh, uh-huh. Hmm. Oh no, it's maybe not Voltar, maybe it's Zoltar.
That sounds more like it. Zoltar.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Zoltar. Yeah, Zoltar is the fortune telling guy.
Yeah. So like if
So
you go and check out Lord Voltar on YouTube, you can see like he does these videos where he'll install like a mod chip to some game system, and he's just got like this nice music that plays, and you see him like doing all the work, and because he has so much experience at it, it's like watching like somebody doing art in a way.
gotcha.
He's just like so smooth with everything.
Hmm.
Like you can tell he does this a lot.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to. We don't have a topic, but we did have a topic last week that we didn't do. So we do have a topic that we don't really have. Follow
Well,
that?
this is Easter Sunday for certain Catholics, not the Roman Catholics, but the other Catholics.
The un-Roman Catholics.
So the Russians,
Okay.
Russian
The
Catholic. I forget what they're
obviously,
called.
we're not rushing to Easter. Wow, 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 wow.
I think they're called Orthodox or something like
Okay.
that. They're a different. There's two sides of the Catholic Church. They're the side that we're not really used to because we're more used to the Roman Catholics. So
Mhm.
there's the other Catholics, and their Easter is a week after everybody else's.
So I
So
bet they're gonna be happy to know that they are getting support on the BM show with this specific topic.
yes, and that
So,
topic is
favorite Easter candies.
there. You go.
Yep. Let's talk about candy because I actually my parents were over yesterday and we went out and we got lunch and we started talking about Easter and Easter candy as it was anyway. Um, so I remember way back in the day, basically I said the Easter bunny was really good to me because my parents would get so much candy in these baskets. I don't even know how they got all this candy in there. It was freaking overflowing all the time. But of course there were certain ones that I liked and certain ones that I didn't like. Um, so I'm just gonna come out and say my favorite Easter candy of all. And unfortunately, I usually get this every year, but I did not get it this year. Are Cadbury cream eggs. I absolutely love Cadbury cream eggs, and they're one of my favorite candies in general.
Is that the noise that the Cadbury bunny makes?
I thought you were doing something else.
I thought this is the noise he makes. Isn't he make like little sound? Right?
I think that you just made our show like NC-17 with that. Wow.
I'm trying to remember. There's a noise that he makes. A Cadbury bunny
I know that or something. I don't know. I don't know, but okay. So yeah. So I love these things. I go out and I usually get like well, first off, way back when I was like kid to teenager, my mom would get so many of those Cadbury boxes, and I just have like one a day, and it lasts me for like I don't know, like 3 weeks. I loved them. Um, now this year, unfortunately, I didn't get any, but I do not like anything that's not the standard Cadbury cream. So they have another one's like a caramel
Mhm.
center, and it's just kind of a letdown. I don't know what it is about the regular Cadbury cream eggs because like after I get done eating them, it has that aftertaste that I question if it was actually even chocolate that I ate. But it's just like biting into it's just so good. So
So
that's my favorite Easter candy of all. What about you, Ben?
usually get the Kinder eggs.
I've never had a Kinder egg.
There's like multiple versions of it. So in Germany, you get the Kinder egg, and it's a hollowed egg of chocolate, and inside is a toy. Those
Yeah,
are illegal in the United States. So like
because our
literally,
kids eat toys.
yeah, for some reason they're illegal in the States. I don't know why.
Mhm.
I think it has to do with like they can't have anything that's small enough for a 3-year-old to fit down their throat, and the toy has to be that small in order to fit in the Kinder egg.
Yeah.
So the Kinder eggs here are hollow with nothing in them. But there's also a Kinder egg. I forget, it's a different kind of egg, which is their version of the Cadbury egg.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's hollow in the center, why go for a Kinder egg? Why not go for the Cadbury? Get
Because
that bonus.
it's better chocolate, maybe? I don't know. It's just, also, I'm German, so I grew up with like all the Kinder shit. Like
Mhm.
my mom, like my Easter basket would just be like my grandmother would send my mom like a bunch of German candy, and I would just have it like be Haribo, the German Haribo, not the US kind. Haribo and Kinder eggs and the Kinder bars, and the bars were just these little tiny they almost look like the size of a Kit Kat. And
So basically, when Ben went down to get his Easter candy, he was already in his clogs and lederhosen.
that's only Bavaria, dude.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'm from Hessen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think it's called Hessen. That's
Mm.
the province that my mother's hometown is in. Um, but yeah, it would be Kinder eggs, Kinder chocolate of all kinds, or Kinder chocolate spread. It's a whole brand over there. But yeah, I would like it. I think we did an Easter in Germany one time, and I was able to get like an actual one with the toy inside.
Mhm.
And that's why they tell you, like, when you get a Kinder egg, to break it first.
Yeah.
So I'm used to in Germany, I'm used to breaking them, and then you would actually break it while the wrapper was still on it, and then you open the wrapper up, and you got all the pieces in the little toy. And in
Uh-huh.
the States, you do it, and then you open it up, and there's just pieces of chocolate.
Yeah. It's kind of, yeah, exactly.
It's a federal
Well,
law too.
you
Like
you
literally,
get
like if you bring Kinder eggs on in your luggage, they will confiscate them.
mhm. Well, here's the thing is that in America, you do get a prize. You open it up and you get air, and I'm sorry, the air is kind of essential for human survival.
That's true, and it's German air.
There you go.
I think.
Which
I don't
means
know. Wait a minute.
it doesn't have all the LA smog in it already.
Yes, it's like, instead of getting a can of air on in Spaceballs, you would just go and get a Kinder egg.
That's exactly what I was thinking right when you started talking. Okay, so
Clean air.
here's another one that I love. This is like, and the best part about this is you can go down to like the Dollar Tree or dollar store where you have and get this so easy because it's such a basic candy. And that's the 12-pack carton of marshmallow eggs. Have you had those?
No.
Oh man, so it comes in an actual like egg carton shaped thing, and you open it up, and it's basically just marshmallow that's kind of in the shape of an egg. It's like kind of the shape of a half egg.
Mhm.
So it's like it's got the curve of the egg on one side, but the other side's like completely flat. And all it is just this marshmallow that's set in that design, and then just had a really thin layer of chocolate poured over it,
Hmm.
and that's it. But it's just such a fun candy to eat because it's just so basic. And you open it up, and you've got like I think it's like 6 or 12 of those, and you're just like, oh man, I can just have this last a couple weeks or a couple minutes, just depending on how hungry I am right now.
Mm.
So yeah, so I would say if you get a chance, you know what, probably go down the dollar store right now, and they'll probably have a clearance of them for 99 cents. But pick up a couple of them.
Um, First of all, I just want to take a second to say hello to my peeps. Yeah, remember peeps?
All right, dude. So that was gonna be mine next one on the list, except mine was gonna be Easter candies that I despise.
I got love and hate for Peeps. Because it's yeah, the Peeps is it's very sweet. It's all sugar,
Yes.
but it's also it's so sweet. It's all sugar.
It's very American.
Yes.
So yeah, and I think that's a problem for me is that I don't know. I would get an overload of peeps. Like I'd have like you know how you get it like four peeps in a box?
Yeah.
I would have like my parents would throw in like 6 of those into my Easter basket.
Yeah, I don't think my mom ever did Peeps
Mm,
because she didn't like them. I
yeah.
didn't have a Peep. I didn't have Peeps really until I was like an adult, and
Mhm.
then it was like, oh, it's just a marshmallow. So it's just a marshmallow.
Can you tell the difference between a yellow peep and a pink peep? I guess I
Probably.
think there's a white peep too.
Probably. I never sat there and, like, remembered this taste of all of them. I've only had Peeps, like, maybe 3 times in my life, but it's
Uh,
like, I never disliked them. I just also know I know there's sugar. Like, I was offered Peeps last week, and I said no because I'm like, "I don't want the sugar rush." Not because
yeah.
I dislike them. I actually do
Mhm.
like them, but
Yeah.
I know the side effect.
Yeah.
I don't wanna deal with the
Exactly.
side
Yep.
effect.
Here comes that debilitating crash right afterwards.
Oh, yeah, and then I also immediately I have to go like, I feel like I have to go brush my teeth because I'm
Oh
like
yeah.
I've had such, like my dental work is just awful, so I'm like, I don't wanna have more dental work. I hate going to the dentist. I don't wanna give
Yeah.
another reason to go to the dentist.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm doing all the stuff now I should have done years ago back when I had all my teeth.
Yeah. Well, the damage is all done, but
Yeah.
you just want to prevent the aftermath.
You know, I heard a good piece of advice today. It was in a bad place, but it just shows that sometimes you find pearls of wisdom. Is if if you can't do something anymore, you don't sit there thinking about what you can't do. Think about what you can do, what you can still do.
Hmm.
And that's like if you know, so I can't have these candies anymore. So I guess I could think of
Well, Ben, you're looking at the wrong way. You can't save your teeth, so you can still have the candies.
I can get rid of all the rest of my teeth.
Exactly. I mean, at that point, then you have a balance in your mouth.
This is my dad's goal. He wants to have all artificial teeth at one point. And I'm like, why? He's like, 'cause then I'll have to wash them.
Oh,
Care.
so
Fake. They won't rot.
so
Um,
here's a horror story. Um, I went to I think it was either Chili's or Fridays one time for somebody's birthday party, and this family was I don't want to say redneck, but they were getting I don't want to say trash either, but they're that's more of the direction they were. Um, and there this couple that I was sitting next to. I was sitting next to their son who is probably about 9 years old, and the couple was sitting across, and they had their other son, which was probably about 6 in between them, and one of them got some sort of like margarita or whatever. So they had all the ice still in the glass from the margarita. The 6-year-old kid grabs it and starts shoveling the ice into his mouth, and they pull it away, but they're laughing the whole time about this. And I'm like, well, that's great parenting right there. Well, what happened was I had already eaten dinner. So I just decided I'm gonna go get dessert. And I got like an Oreo pie, piece of Oreo pie. They put it right in front of me. And the kid that was next to me goes, that looks good. And as he was saying it, I looked into his mouth and like half his teeth were metal. And at that point, I felt obligated after seeing what the other kid did with the glass of margarita ice. I felt my civic duty was to eat every single bite of this pie so that this kid does not do any further damage to his mouth.
mm.
It was traumatic to see how many teeth this kid had lost at that age that were completely metal teeth.
It's bad. Yeah, it's I don't know. I wish I took better care of my teeth. But
Yeah.
that's one of the side effects of all the candy.
Hmm. I just
Well,
took care of my laundry.
so what's your next one?
Okay, so I'm actually gonna do this. Mine's gonna be a love and a hate together. And mine's a pretty basic one. I love jelly beans. Like I'll even eat the black ones, even though I don't like them, but I just love jelly beans. And we would get so many jelly beans poured into our basket. Like just it was like a lake of jelly beans.
You know who's a big fan of jelly beans was Ronald Reagan. He literally had a jar of it on his desk, and he would munch on them while he was thinking.
Dude, see, dude, I'm telling you, jelly beans are like life, man. But here's the thing, I hate it. I hate Easter grass. Like,
Mm.
really hate Easter grass.
Especially when it gets stuck in your, I get stuck on your hand while you're grabbing the jelly beans.
Hmm. And then you have to, you're picking it out of the jelly beans, making sure you get every strand. I would just like pull the whole thing out and let the jelly beans fall to the bottom and just toss the Easter grass like instantly. First thing I did, I could not stand it.
Mm.
So eventually my parents caught on and they stopped putting Easter grass in my basket. And it was a whole lot better. Now, with saying that, one of my favorite comedians of all time, this guy named Bob Zaney, he had a bit where he held up a bag of Easter grass and his comment was never buy marijuana from the Easter Bunny. Yeah.
uh, see,
So Ben,
I like gummy stuff.
yeah.
So like, and my favorite gummy candy, I mentioned this before, is the German Haribo,
Hmm.
which you can get basically in any other country other than ours. Uh,
Yeah, of course.
yeah. Like I found it in Korea.
Hmm.
That's one of the things that's so weird. I came home from Korea with like 6 packs of German candy.
Hmm.
I feel like I went to a store and I found them, and on my last day, I'm like, well, I got some money left. Let me go buy some candy. And yeah, I used to order 6 packs of it off of Amazon when it was like $18 for 6 packs of it. So it was like $3 a pack,
Hmm.
which like you think about the importing and all that stuff, it's like it's a really good deal.
Hmm.
And then the price just skyrocketed. So there went that. I haven't had them in like 2 years now because the price hasn't like really settled down yet, or at least I haven't seen it settle down. I'm not watching it like a hawk, but
Yeah. Well, that tends to be one of those candies that like when you order something online and they decide to throw candies into your bag, you always get the Haribo bags, like the little Haribo bags. And I just look at them and I wonder, are these authentic Haribos?
well, you got to look at the label. If you can understand what the label says, and I'm talking about like all of the words on the label, not just the word Haribo. Like if you can understand what the words that the little bear is saying,
Uh-huh.
if they're in English, they're the wrong ones.
Yeah. That makes sense.
If they're in German, or at least you think it's German, it ain't English,
Hmm.
you got the right ones.
Hmm.
I know what German looks like. I know I know what a lot of languages look like. I don't know a lot of languages, but I've studied enough of enough of like samples of stuff to know. Like I can kind of tell you if it's like Italian and Spanish. I sometimes have trouble telling which one's which because they're very similar. Um,
Hmm.
which is true. Do your research before you angry commenter about to say, well, can you say that about Spanish? No, no, no. Do your research. Do your research. And by the time you're done with your research, if I'm wrong, hopefully you're too tired and come back. Do
Yeah.
you want to go
I,
through? You want to go through the comments?
I didn't look at the comments. Were there any good comments?
I don't know. I'm just like wondering, like since I'm mentioning that, man, we should take a look at them and see if
I'm
any.
going to the comments right now.
It's the comments.
Oh man, I just got sidetracked, man. Beanie video.
Oh, the beanie video.
Yeah, dude, that was such a good performance. But I'm glad that I didn't go because Coachella, man, you go to Coachella, you're spending like $4,000 just for a concert. I would have gone for just their set. Their set was 45 minutes.
Yeah, Yeah, my little sister, she was the nurse on one of the nurses on site for Burning Man,
Hmm.
and she said, like, she'll never go to that again.
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm glad I was paid to be there, because otherwise I would never be there."
Especially, it's kind of insulting in a way because they live streamed it or they are live streaming it. So why would you go pay all that money to be way in the back and barely see the act when you can just watch it online and see it up close?
I have an aunt who went to that damn ball drop thing in Times Square. People are crazy. She says she'll never do it again, but she's glad she did it. I'm like, you stood there for hours on end to watch a ball drop and some musical act of what, Mariah Carey or whoever it was that year. Who Mariah Carey, I mean, she hasn't really been relevant since I was a teenager.
Yeah, I know.
I remember when she started, and I thought she was insanely hot and such a good singer. And she really has been at that point since. She just, she released more music, but I didn't really follow it. So, let's see
Oh,
here.
I'm going through the comments. I have one that I want to bring out right now.
Okay.
And that's actually on son-in-law. This one's exciting.
Okay.
It says, E encanta esa película. Es de mis favoritas. Es de mis favoritas.
Is it okay? I'm gonna guess that they just said that this movie is one of their favorites.
Yes, they love the movie. It's one of their favorites. I'm actually, it's awesome to see this. It's awesome to see that our our viewers that are commenting aren't just like American based, probably. This person's probably not from America. And that's awesome to see that our stuff's getting out that far.
I have a series. I gave that one a heart, by the way. I have a series of comments on one of my other channels, and it's the same guy. It's in French, and they're all asking me to post the same video in French.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, no, so I don't have the time. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not doing
So
a whole series of videos in a language I don't understand.
so did you post it in German?
No, I don't know that one either.
Oh man.
Let's
Oh
see
man.
here. Looking at 80s movie. Okay, so this is about Ernest Goes to Camp. Looking at 80s movies with a 2020s perspective is like taking a shit with your pants on and sitting down. Of course, there's guns. In the 80s, when any kids, much mature 14 to 15-year-olds, are now had guns racks in their trucks, full with daddy's shotgun and squirrel rifles parked right there in the parking lot. At least a decade before the first school shooting was completely different plan than it is now. I'm literally reading, this is how it's written. This is by far the best Ernest movie because it isn't a modern caricature that treats kids as though they're stupid. I grew up in the 80s. I do not remember kids movies. Maybe my memory is just, maybe I didn't pay attention to the guns. But I don't remember there being a million guns in any of the movies. I didn't
Yeah,
watch Ernest until we reviewed it, but I don't remember that many guns being in my kids' films when I was that young. Like I said, maybe I'm remembering wrong,
no,
but
I actually, okay, so first off, I'm gonna say about this comment. This is obviously a comment where the person just probably wrote it out but didn't go back to read it, which I do too. And then I go back afterwards after post read. I'm like, wow, that's something that I could probably have gotten away with by saying, but by writing, it just gets so confusing, just the way it's structured. But I get what this person's saying, and I actually do agree with them with the amount of guns. Because if you take a movie that we saw, like Gods Must Be Crazy, um, that one is geared towards a lot of kids, but there are a whole lot of guns in that movie and a whole lot of shooting. I mean, it was a different time where people weren't so uptight about it. Because it was kind of like it was during the time when we had GI Joe, where they
GI Joe is different because it was animated.
No, I
And
get
I
that.
remember animated movies had guns everywhere. You know,
No,
so
I
that
get that. But these movies were the same. The example with Gods Must Be Crazy. They were shooting, but no one was getting shot. Well, maybe somebody got shot or something, but there were their aim was so bad that you could have just walked right up to them and punched them while they were still shooting.
yeah.
And that's kind of how the movies worked with the guns. So yeah,
Yeah,
there are a lot of guns.
it's like the whole thing when you're watching like Rambo and the entire Vietnamese army is trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And here he is all by his lonesome making it through with everybody.
Here's another example. The Goonies.
Mm.
The Goonies, the Fratellis had guns
Okay,
and
so
they were shooting them. Now they weren't hitting any of the kids, but they were present.
yeah, I mean, you know, my comments, I still stick by them that I don't think and just because kids films all the time had it doesn't mean they should have. That's
Yeah.
another thing to say is like, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe every movie back then did have a ton of guns in it. That doesn't mean that they should have. These are kid movies,
Yeah.
you know. The kids they should have stuff where they're playing pretend. You know what was a good kid show? And I wish they would bring it back, except the music rights are a total nightmare. The Muppet Babies.
Hmm.
Muppet Babies was like that was what a kid show should be about, or the Rugrats, where they're pretending and they're in a magical land where people aren't worried about sex and money and guns.
Well, yeah, I agree with that, but I'm also going to flip it on you here because I don't think the problem is the guns in the movies. Let's talk about Japan and let's talk about anime. If you watch some of the anime, dude, it's got like people ripping people's throats out with their hands.
Mm,
And kids are like watching this stuff, but it's different because they actually teach the culture properly. Here we let the kids kind of just run wild. So that they learn kind of because like the kids in Japan, they have to learn to clean the classrooms. So they kind of they're taught a lot of respect for other people. So whereas here, dude, just people don't get involved. They're like, you know what? I'm too busy doing other things right now. So, kid, just do what you want to do. Um, so I don't think the problem is the guns in movies. I think it's the lack of education towards treating people with respect.
mm. Yeah, no, I think that a lot of it has to do with it. It's a cultural thing. We're also like here, it's very much go for happiness. What makes you happy? You know, it can't
Entitlement.
entitlement. I mean, there's the Sheryl Crow song. If it makes you happy, well, it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, heroin addicts, heroin makes them happy.
Yeah, it does.
You know? And I love Sheryl Crow, so don't get me wrong on that. I have her girl collection, but it's yeah, it's people have this mindset, and it's a very live and let live as long as they're not hurting anybody. It's like
Yeah.
maybe on the surface they're not hurting anybody, but you don't see what's behind the scenes and what's going on and what gives them the ability to do what they're doing is at the expense of something else. And
Yep.
and these are all morality questions, and that's not what we're here to do. We're here to do fun stuff and talk about video games and movies, and here I am talking about morale. But
That's okay. This one's a free episode, so
yeah, I'm
people
sure.
are paying
I
for
am so sorry. I mean, and we could have talked. You could have forced the issue, and I have seen these movies before, and I could have talked about them from one off of memory. But I'd rather like see them again and get a nice fresh view of the whole thing.
it.
But next week will be our video game slash Jean Claude Van Damme spectacular.
Yes, and then we'll just push off that authors one again. The authors one is becoming that comfort games one.
Like we're never gonna do it, and then we do it, and then we have to come up with another one that we keep pushing off.
Yep, and it looks like its authors is a new one.
Well, we kept talking about in the with our specials that we were gonna eventually gonna do Firefly, and then we
Yeah,
keep pushing that off.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude! And here's the thing: I got the Firefly movie on 4K now.
Hmm.
So when we finally do it, and we get to the grand finale where we watch the movie, um, we'll have it in the best quality possible. So when we watch it in 8 years,
Hmm. Yeah,
or whatever,
exactly.
um, should I do Perfect Blue this week? Because we're not gonna have a video.
Yeah, go ahead and put up Perfect Blue. Put them both
Oh,
up.
folks, wait till you hear what we say about Perfect Blue. Ooh. Might have
Yeah,
went into this thing thinking that everybody was gonna hate it. Did they? I don't know. You have to listen to it to find out.
yeah, that's gonna be a big one. Yep.
Yeah, it's a I can't say it. All right.
And you might as well post that one early if you can, and then post the other one we did, Grave of Fireflies, if you can. Let's just get them knocked out.
You wanna just knock them out? We could.
Yeah,
Okay. So that's
yeah, let's
that
do it.
are those the last two?
Those are the last two. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm about to give away everything. Okay, okay.
yeah. And then after this, we might as well just give this away because this was at the. I think we announced this again, the Grave of Fireflies. But you know what? I'm going to announce it right now. We have live actions of the majority of these animes.
Yes. So what we do these ahead of time, folks, so that we could have extra stuff for like when we miss a week for whatever, we have something to share with you. And we hope you enjoyed it. The Devilman did really well. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that might have been a lot of people just kind of curious on what the hell a Devilman was.
Uh-huh. I think it's just they love the Barrett impression.
Maybe,
I mean,
maybe
who
had
doesn't love
nothing.
the Barrett impression?
I just know that Devilman had you kept comparing it to what movie? You kept comparing it to
Hellboy.
Hellboy, and this is not the same movie. It's not.
Uh,
It's
they're,
not the same movie.
they're nowhere similar in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, you're definitely not the same story. Not at
No.
all.
Yeah.
I am on eBay looking at RGB modded N64s. So before I spend a bunch of money I don't have on this, let's wrap this show up.
That's fine. I'm ready because I am starving for my dinner.
I ate before we went on the air, so I'm doing all right now.
Well, that's because you're 3 hours ahead of me, dude.
That's true. See, now it's your eating time over there.
Exactly.
Yep, I get to see everything before you get to see it because I'm in the future. That's
That's
what
true.
that's how it
That's
works,
true.
right?
That's true. And if you hopped in your DeLorean and drive 88 miles an hour, you could be here with me.
Did you know that Hulk Hogan claimed that he once wrestled 400 days in 1 year because he kept crossing the international date line?
That's awesome.
And I'm like,
I mean, it's still the same day, but that's still awesome to think about.
yeah, that's how he's claiming it, is that he went like into the future in Japan, wrestled, got on a plane, and went back into the past and wrestled again.
It's like I wrestled on 413, brother, and then I traveled to 413. It's like, dude, that's the same day. It doesn't matter. It's another day.
I mean, I could like it's he has a whole series of like unbelievable things that he claimed, and I think that might have even been in one of his books. And people have done the math, and like it's possible that he wrestled 400 times in a year
Yeah.
because it was not unheard of, especially for him. He would do a show at 4 o'clock and then get on a private jet. He would be like the opening match on one event, jump on a private jet and fly to another location and be the main event in another city. That
Yeah.
was not unheard of because he was the champion for him to
Yeah.
pull shit like that. Ric Flair would do the same thing where they would do a show at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, jump on a private jet, and then do another show at 7 o'clock, 3 states over. Um, so you could have done 400 dates in a year. That's probably not unheard of and probably did happen multiple times.
Yeah.
But to work 400 days in a year?
Yeah.
No.
I'm just thinking about the overtime on that, man.
That's 35 extra days.
I mean, if you could think about like if they would have had the one big beautiful bill then, and he had no tax on overtime,
I know the overtime
would
would
make it out.
I heard that there's there's complications with that, but I don't know anybody. Actually, I don't talk to people about how much they make, so I don't actually know anybody who's working on tips or overtime. Really, I mean, some father gets overtime, but
It's okay. So do I really should we really go into this?
well, it is part of your job, so you do have a level of expertise that some people don't have.
Yeah. So basically here's how it works, people, is that your overtime has to be qualified overtime, which the majority of overtime is going to end up being qualified overtime. However, you do get fully taxed on your overtime. So it's really not no tax on overtime. So when you get your check, yes, taxes are deducted. When you get your W-2 starting with this year 2026, so not your 2025 W-2 because you're probably pretty confused being that you should have pretty much already filed your taxes now. When you get your 2026 W-2, in box 14, there will now be a classification for what you can use as qualified overtime or qualified tips. However, the how it works is basically it's up to, and I want to say $25,000 is not taxable. But it's only not taxable on the additional premium for overtime because overtime is paid at 1.5%. So if you're making, let's just say for easy figures, $10 an hour, your rate for overtime is going to be $15 an hour. The portion that's not taxable is that additional $5 per hour. The $10 is fully taxable.
Yeah, so it's only the overtime pay itself, you not your base rate.
The additional pay, the additional premium over your regular rate.
Yeah, so then, like, if you made $20 an hour and your overtime rate was 30, the $10 extra is not taxed, but the $20 is still taxed.
Yeah, and don't be that employer that says, "Oh, you're not going to see any sort of taxes deducted when you get your paycheck." You definitely will because you claim it as a credit when you file your taxes.
Yeah, so this is gonna be extra money when you file your taxes. Okay, so this is not money now, this is money later.
Yes.
Okay. Which some people, they prefer it, and it looks like because we don't have control, and that's what it comes down to. If
Yeah.
you had full control over yourself, you would and some people do this. They take all they have nothing taken out of their paycheck. And then at
Mhm.
the end of the year, they'll just write a check to the government. But during
Yeah.
that time, they're taking that whatever the income tax is supposed to be and throwing it into a bank account and letting it sit.
Investing it some way.
What's that?
Investing it some way to earn money off of it.
But then you have to have the discipline well, you have the discipline to set that up to begin with and then to
Mhm.
never touch it and
Yeah.
then be able to get yourself to write a check to the government for however much it is, which it might be like, oh, geez, and this money could do so much more good for me. And the government doesn't know how to use it. And da 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 da. And it's like, it's just easier for people to just have the money taken out by your employer and deal with it as a rebate. And
Exactly.
you lose out on the interest, but it's like, the discipline. There's a lot of discipline that
Yeah,
people,
exactly.
including me, do not have.
I
Just like
understand.
when I got the job I had now, I was offered to be on as a contract,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I'd much rather have it where you guys do all that shit.
Yeah,
If I'm a
exactly.
contractor, I gotta do all that stuff on my own, man, and I've never
Yep,
done that before.
exactly.
So, well,
So
anyways,
with that,
with that, I keep trying to order the Lord of the Rings on books, and my order got canceled.
oh, okay. So you do have something for authors next time, even if it's just cancellations.
It was with cancellations, I do. And with that, Mike, what is the last word?
Osaka.